Welcome to another episode of the Base Umbrella Podcast. I'm your host, Onesta Wedenig, and I'm here with Peninah. Welcome, Peninah.
Thank you, Onesta. It's so amazing to be here. And I'm so grateful to be part of this team and also to be part of this podcast.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So our podcast is a platform where we bring to you inspiring stories of women like Peninah. When I think of her, or when I talk to Peninah, I'm always inspired. Now, she's someone who has been able to bridge Graz with the Samburu people. You're a community builder. You're an entrepreneur. You're a mother. You're a friend. And I feel like the viewers and listeners out there will also be inspired the way I am today. Now, again, welcome, Peninah. And just before we get into the conversation, I wanted to remind you guys, if you are not following us as yet, remember to click like to this video, follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok and on Instagram. Am I forgetting anything? Now, again, Peninah is here with us. And as I said, she is a community builder. Now, there's not much that I've built in my life except maybe some IKEA furniture, but she has been building schools. She has been building water tanks. Now, I'm here because of love in Graz. And I'm sure you're wondering how this beautiful, inspiring woman has made her way to Graz. Now, can you tell the viewers a little bit about how you arrived here?
So, hi everyone. As you've been told, I'm Peninah Lesorogol and I come from Kenya, a very, very small village called Naiborkeju in Samburu County in the northern part of Kenya. And love brought me to Graz. It's always love.
It's always
not
love.
It's something else. Yeah. So love brought me to Graz.
Oh, thank you for letting us know that as well. So we have something in common already. And if you guys haven't felt it already, myself and Peninah are what I would like to say friends. And it's sometimes difficult to interview a friend because you know almost everything about that person. And I want to give you guys the opportunity also to know what I know and to be inspired. And she's here because of love, like myself. But she's done some really, what should I say, not only challenging things, but also inspiring projects. Now, one of the projects that I've been able to support Peninah on, and she's been able to support her community, is the water tank project. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that project?
Also, as I mentioned before, I come from the northern part of Kenya, which is not a desert, but it's like semi-desert. It's very dry. And water is a huge challenge. And so we've been doing projects, different types of projects like beadwork projects and agroforestry project. And so we were able to buy some tanks for capturing rainwater.
How many tanks were you able to?
So 3 of them, which are 10,000 each.
And how many people are able to benefit from these water tanks?
So mainly because we started a agroforestry project where we plant trees and food and vegetables. And so mainly it's for this kind of forest where women work in the forest and get paid for working there. So of course people will fetch water there from the same tanks, but it's normally specifically for the plants. But of course, wild animals, domestic animals, because we are pastoralists. We keep sheep, goats, and cows, and sometimes camels. And so the benefit actually goes beyond human nature. So it goes beyond to the animals. And so it really benefited people a lot, because when there is no water in the public water tank or borehole, then people can go home and get like 20 liters of water each. So a lot of people. We live in a village of 4,000 people registered.
4,000
registered, yes. Yeah, so probably more than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes we forget of these basic needs because we have easy access to it. We're able to turn our taps on and we can have water. But here you have one woman who has been able to mobilize a community and to build something that is so needed, to provide water to the people for, what did you say, 40,000?
4,000, but not really a lot of, at least a small part of, we just change at least a small part of, we can't change the whole world, but also like, at least if a few people are benefiting, that's already something that is very close to my heart. And I wouldn't take a credit of just me making the whole thing, because without community, I don't think there's anything that can survive otherwise.
If you're listening out there, it takes a community, yes? And it sometimes takes the dream of one person to initiate and to bring people together. And I know Peninah does not want to take on that glory, but for me, I am really, really inspired by what you're doing, because sometimes it just takes one person to dream the dream and to do the hard work of bringing people together. And that's what you've done. Now, after water, you're focusing on something else. Your focus has now gone over to education. Yeah?
Yes.
Before you tell us about your education project, I want to hear from you. What was it like for you to grow up in Samburu and to go to school back home?
Oh, it was a huge challenge. And because of this, because all these projects actually I'm doing, it's because of the education that I was be able to get. And it was a big challenge because by then in my generation, not a lot of girls go to school. So I was really, really one of the very luckiest girls who could go to school. And I was always like a curious child. I always wanted to learn more. I wanted to go beyond my mother's small wooden hut.
Yeah.
So I am grateful that my family gave me the opportunity of education. And since then, this thing is driving me like... I have fire driving me that every child needs an opportunity to go to school, because life begins there. Education is actually very important in every society. And not just formal education, the more we learn knowledge, you learn a lot of knowledge, And I come from an indigenous tribe. Indigenous people have indigenous ancient wisdom. But imagine if we have this explosion of indigenous wisdom and modern education together. Wow. We can create so much more, and we can create a better world for every person to live. Not that saying that the indigenous ways is not the right way, no, but if we can try to live up to we grow with time, because time changes, people change, and a lot of things are happening. And if we combine the power of ancient wisdom and the power of modern wisdom, the world will be such a beautiful place.
Thank you, Peninah, for sharing that background about your education experience in Samburu. Now, tell the audience about the importance of this project, your beneficiaries, the children who are waiting for what this project will bring to them.
So we have a new project, that is the school project, where we're going to build a school in our village. It's very exciting, and we have schools, of course, around, but we have a lot of kids and it's not enough for all of them. And there is this land that it was for community, and the elders set it aside because they have also seen the importance of education, and that's the most important thing, that the community is also recognizing the power of education and the power of change. And the elders are like people who have never gone to school. When I speak about the elders in Samburu, and particularly in Samburu community, they have seen so far the projects that we have been doing, like creating a food forest in a semi-desert, and it survived, and it's really, really doing so wonderful. Their belief of change, it just changed the perspective of everything. So the elders came to me and said, we have this land, which is a community land, and we set it aside since 2010 for the school, to be built for school in the village, yeah? But so far, the government have only managed to build 2 classrooms. And in the classroom, in this school, we have like 175 kids at the moment, only 2 classrooms. And that classrooms, the 2 classrooms are acting as a staff room, as a store, as a kitchen. One classroom is a half kitchen, half class.
Wow.
So the kids are studying and the food is cooking.
Wow.
So you
Can you believe that?
Yeah. So, and they came to me and they said, oh, we don't want this land to just be there. We have a lot of kids, of course. And now we are going to build the whole school, 8 classrooms, a computer lab, a dining hall, which will also not just be a dining hall, it will be also a community center for the entire community to use the facility for awareness, workshops or meetings.
Now that sounds amazing. That sounds inspiring. A classroom that is not one where there's cooking in the corner, you can actually focus. I think education is the right of every child. And Peninah, when you mentioned that there's a room where there's cooking in the corner, I'm trying to even imagine this. And as you continue in the video, you will see that there will be snap bits of what Peninah is talking about. You'll be able to see what the children are actually living through when it comes to school life. Now, the project sounds like I want to be a part of it. And if you're listening, this is a call of action. Get on board and see how you can support. But imagine, you said the government was able only to build 2 classrooms. And maybe you're wondering as a listener, why doesn't the government take care of these issues? Yes, I'm sure that's a question that is lingering. Yes. Peninah, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I will touch a little bit. It's just that the governments are kind of somehow very corrupt, to be honest. And also like minority, we are the minority, the Maasai, the marginalized communities. So it's not really a big deal for them to make developments there because maybe we need too much. But it's kind of so unfair that the marginalized communities are always like put aside in case of a budget or when things are not working. I'm not complaining completely about anything because we still have some schools, but the only thing that is in some rural areas, we still lack these facilities that are really needed. And education should be one of the basic needs.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because it's really needed for the change that we need to make in this world.
We need to educate.
We need to educate, and the kids are the future. The sustainability. There is nothing beyond education. In sustainability, I guess the whole part of education is just sustainability of its own.
Yes.
Because we are thinking of the future generations and what we want to have. We need to build a world that we wish to live in. And by building this, we invest in our kids. We invest in the younger generations. We give them education that they can be able to navigate around the world.
Yes.
Or around the daily lives.
I know back home where I'm from, Guyana, there are communities where kids would have to walk for miles to get to school. So yes, there might be a few schools, but they're so far away from where communities are actually dwelling, where children are living. So they have to walk maybe hours to get to school. By the time they get there, they're tired. Maybe families cannot support them with a meal. So there are so many layers when it comes to building a school. You need to take into consideration how close to school is to where the kids are living. And what I like about Peninah's project, it's in a neighborhood where children are surrounding the school. So maybe it takes 5 minutes for them to get there. It takes 10 minutes. They don't have to walk for miles to get there. Yes. And Peninah, again, I want to emphasize, if you're listening and you're thinking about what you can do, you don't always need to wait on government. You don't always need to wait on officials. What can I do? And you have shown that with just a little bit of reflection and looking at what is needed and the willpower, you can make things happen. You can connect. And as Peninah said, she's not doing this alone. So the next question, who are the people who are supporting you on this project? Because it sounds like a lot of money is needed and a lot of resources. So tell me of how you have been able to bridge your community with the people that are here in Austria that are supporting you.
So as I mentioned before, charity begins at home. And so the main people who actually supported me with my projects are my two communities, two worlds that are worlds apart and totally different cultures, but I'm like this bridge that connects them. So I'm talking about Austria and Samburu. So my family back at home and my community, because in the village you are all family, yeah. In Samburu we are all family. So I have a very reliable group of men and women back at home who are taking care of everything. I'm just the opportunity finder. I find opportunities.
I like that. I like that coin. Opportunity finder.
Yeah, I don't know
love
if it's a good English or not.
No, everything is welcome here.
But to be honest, I'm just the person to say, okay, this project, I would love to touch on this. What do you think? So the others are bringing ideas. And then I'm like, I'm going to look for, I'm begging for money.
Yes.
To just make sure that we find opportunities. So before I used to do my own projects alone, like I go to the markets, I find here, but there, the women are working there because the main people that I saw when I started my projects are women. Because women in my community are really, they don't own anything and they are financially very dependent on men. And I started these projects to make women independent, financially independent. So they depend on themselves. They work, they get paid. So before I used to do a cleaning job and then I say this cleaning job pays for the women every month.
You can stop there. That is so selfless, you know. That is so selfless that you're thinking always about what is happening back home. Yes, you can enjoy Austria and all that it offers, but you're doing it to support someone else.
Yeah, but I also think because it's because of them that I'm here. Because when I went to school, I went to a boarding school and I went to best schools. It was expensive. Nobody was working in my family, but my community made sure that I'm not sent home because of school fees. I never lacked school fees for a single day. Yeah. Because my community, they bring a sheep, a goat, a cow from there, and I sell. I go to school. I get money, I go to school. So I'm just giving back to the people who actually
give into your life.
Gave me so much and made me, because if it's not education, I wouldn't be here. That's why that topic of education is very close to my heart.
Okay.
It can change a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm excited that there's so many people that people have just got on board with what you're doing, Peninah.
Yeah, there are amazing people here now. There are a lot of people that have been really, really supporting my projects, and Base Graz has been #1 supporter of my projects. They give me a venue where I do events and where I get money, like I collect money for the projects. And also they have a shop, there's a shop that is connected with Base Graz where we sell our products. And the money that we get from our products, our jewelry, now I do clothes as well. It goes back to the project.
Can I say something, Peninah?
Yes, please.
Shout out to the Bahamian Soul Beehive Shop.
It's the best.
Peninah has been supplying with such beautiful. Do you mind if I touch and show it off a little bit?
No problem.
And every time you wear one of the Samburu pieces, you know that it's some of that money is going directly back into the community in projects such as the agroforestry project and the school project.
Yes.
So I wanted just to say shout out to the Bahamian Soul Beehive Shop.
Yeah, exactly. And also like we've been working very closely with Migrantin in Bairat, which is a body that supports migrants in Graz, and sometimes also they fund our events. And Sudwind has been supporting us a lot. And there's also a group of students, they're called Shift Tanks. I did a very good project with them. I went with 9 of them to our village last year.
Wow.
We connected drip irrigation system. It's a group of engineers, very young students. And we started a drip irrigation, which is helping a lot because we are saving a lot of water. And by saving water, because I buy water every week, so now because of drip irrigation, it supported us so much that we could take 10 more kids to school. We could pay 10 more kids for school fees in high school, yeah? And there are a lot of individuals who want to support this project, this school project, very different people. And very like teachers, doctors, they come from very diverse group. And we started an organization called Seeds of Love. And we are a group of 20 people for now.
Seeds of Love.
Seeds of Love, yeah, Seeds of Love Foundation. And we are going to focus on the school project. And with the students from Leoben University, Montana University, we are focusing on the agroforestry project. But since they installed this whole solar system and drip irrigation, we are also collaborating with them to install the solar system in school once the school is built. So I have really and also individuals, and we are looking for a lot of people, well-wishers, companies that are want to do things like want to change the world in their own ways, you know, and that's what we are actually looking for right now, partners.
Okay, so
yeah, to support us financially, and not just financially, you know. It's not all about money. Also ideas, what people bring, it changes the world, and change begins within us. Change begins with you and me. Yeah,
I like that. I love this concept of seed of love. Because once you plant, whether it's money, whether it's an idea, you can watch it blossom, into the fact that there's a girl 10 years from now who might come up with an idea of how to save water or how to even cure some incurable disease. So your seed of love, whatever you're given into Peninah's project, and I shouldn't even say Peninah's project because it's more than you. It's about your community. It's about the 4,000 children who would benefit.
Yeah, it is more than
it's a plant of hope. It's a seed of hope.
Yes.
And inspiration.
Yeah, and investing on children is one of the most, I don't know, it's beyond words.
Yeah, we can't say that enough. Yeah. I wanted to ask Peninah, if our listeners out there are saying, okay, we give money, we give ideas, what are 5, and if you cannot say 5 things now, what are a list of things that the monies will be used for? You mentioned there's going to be a lab, there's going to be a room. Is there a story that you would like to add or a list? Now imagine, I've seen the video and you will see it soon, but can you list some of those things that are so concrete that you know your seed would be going to? If you're a listener.
The good thing about our projects is that we are very transparent and we put everything there. We have a YouTube channel where we showcase the projects that we have already done, and the people who contribute to our projects, they see where their money goes to. And also, like, if we get the money to build a school, this money will go build a school. And it's not just building a school. We are also creating jobs for people. We're eradicating poverty. And the list goes on and on and on. But the fact that we will have 8 classrooms, we will have a computer lab for the kids, because right now you'll see in a snippet of this video where a child is at the corner learning digital education on a phone, and these children are supposed to have the same education, the same exams, national exams with the children from other parts of the country, nationwide, and they have no resources. So we build a community hall where community people are being taught about. Sometimes there are things that are taboo to talk about, topics that are taboo to talk about. There's a very close project also, like it's woven in our project. It's the project of FGM. That's a very topic of its own. And people can also have awareness about this. Our people in the community will also have awareness. They will be taught about first aid, things that we don't even think, And also we can learn a lot about our cultures, because we are losing our cultures. So it's not just, it's a cultural exchange in a modern world where we preserve our identity, but at the same time we embrace change. Change through education. So there is a list. It goes
on
beyond.
and on.
Yeah,
and on.
And once we finish the school and everything, we always showcase what we have done, and people will never, and it doesn't matter how much you give or what ideas you give. At the end of the day, you've planted the seed of love.
Oh, that is really, really inspiring. I can't help but saying that enough, how inspiring it is, especially when you talked about this exchange of education. Because we hear in many situations when there is this element of, okay, we're supporting something that is not in our community. We think of we're taking education somewhere else. We're bringing our ways somewhere else. But in this case, you're creating a space where they can continually talk about what matters to them. They can continually come up with solutions. They can continually share knowledge, but a space is dedicated to that they know we're meeting to talk about whatever it is, whatever uplifts us, that we have that space that is clean, that is that has what it needs, whether they need to do a PowerPoint or whether someone needs to sit and just tell a story, that they have a space for that in a school that represents this whole concept of education. Now, if you're listening and you would like to support this idea, to support and plant your seed, Peninah, can you tell our listeners and our viewers where they can go, how they can get in contact with you if they would like to be a part of this?
Yeah, sure. We have an online shop, which is, or you can find our information from samburu.at, and you will get all the information there. The Facebook, the Instagram page, the YouTube, you can see previous projects that we have done. And I would just like to say one thing about working together as a people, as a human collection, that it doesn't really matter where we come from, and it doesn't really matter how far that place is, because a lot of people would say, oh, why should I help someone that is in another continent?
Yes.
We are all connected, actually. And the moment I took these students from, normally I don't use I, but in this contest I do. Yeah. Because in my community we don't have something like me, myself, and I. It's we, our land, our community, our people, yeah?
Yes.
But in this contest I would talk about connecting my two worlds. I have 3 boys, but 2 of my boys are half. And sometimes when they go there, they are white. When they come here, they are black.
Yes.
And I'm the kind of person who want to try something that my kids don't have to choose a side. So I'm connecting my two worlds together.
Very important.
And I bring people every July when I go home, I bring people from here to there. And when I see the harmony of them just living together, eating together, whatever that is there, no choice, it's what is cooked is what is eaten. And just seeing people from here living as if they belong there.
Yes.
It gives me this sense of belonging, this sense of identity, that it really doesn't matter where we come from. And the change we make in the world, the change that I make here, will affect the people that live in another continent, in one way or the other, yeah? Yes. So for those people who have been supporting us, actually, we are so grateful, and continue supporting us. We have a lot of community work to do, and we are doing together. Without you, there's nothing that we are doing. Yeah, it takes a village.
Yes,
like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village, and now the world is just a global village. It's a small village, you know.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Peninah, for sharing that. Thank you so much. If you would like to give something to the Samburu School Project, remember to check YouTube, check Facebook, check the shop, the Samburu Beach shop, to see how you can give. Thank you for staying with us and to listen, and thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to this conversation and being a part of this. We would like to encourage you again. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't clicked link or share, please do so. Stay tuned for our third episode, and thank you.